guys, it's me, MiaFran. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another day of the 12 Days of Anime. Now, in today's video, I'm just gonna be talking about Studio Ghibli. So, if you guys have been living under a rock and you don't know what Studio Ghibli is, or Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, Studio Ghibli has been putting out films since the 80s, I'm pretty sure. I think. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself in the video. Yeah, it's been putting out films since before even I was born, and they've been a pretty big staple in the anime community as far as things you need to watch, I think. So let's talk about what I love about Ghibli films. So what I love about these films is I love the characters, I love the colors, I love the stories, I love everything about Ghibli films. I love that they're always about people that you would know in real life. Like, doesn't matter who they're about or what kind of situation they're going through, you can kind of either see yourself or see someone you know in those different characters, and I love that about Ghibli films. So some of my personal favorites, I already mentioned in my first 12 Days of Anime video that I used to watch Kiki's Delivery Service all the time, and I still do. It's one of my absolute favorites. I love it so much, I named my dog Kiki, so here's a picture. And here, this is a picture of my puppy, of my dog. This is Kiki. She's my little baby, and I love her so much. But I named her Kiki after the character from the movie. I love the movie. I think it's so cute. I love witches and spooky things and things like that. So I love that it's a movie about a little witch girl who is just trying to find herself. Not only is she a witch, but she's a 13-year-old girl who's trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. And she's in this time of transitioning from a child to a young adult. She's starting off this kind of transitional age, you know, when you're like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. You don't know what you want to do, and I love that Kiki kind of figures out what she wants to do as the film goes on. And I just love, I love Gigi. He's such a pretty cat, and I love all the side characters, even though, I can't stand Tombo at the beginning. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, god damn it, this fucking idiot. But then, as the movie goes on, you're like, oh, he's got a little crush on her, and he wants to be friends with her. That's so cute. But I love Kiki's Delivery Service. It's one I highly recommend that you go watch. I can't talk about all of the movies here, but I will talk about my absolute favorites. So next we got Spirited Away, and that is one of those films that kind of sticks with you after you've watched it a bunch. I remember I learned about Spirited Away from my grandma, the same grandmother who I mentioned and talked about briefly in my first 12 Days of Anime video as well. She died when I was 14 years old and when I was just getting into high school, but this movie came out when I was in first grade, but my grandma had gone to see that movie with my grandpa. They had gone to the movies together to go see it, and I remember her telling me specifically, saying you really need to watch this movie, it's really, really good, and things like that. So I always remember my grandma telling me that. So I always have very fond memories of watching Spirited Away, growing up watching that. It takes you, not only does it take Chihiro to another world full of different creatures and things, but it takes the audience to a different world with different creatures that may or may not exist. I don't know. We'll never find out because we don't have access to those kinds of worlds. I absolutely love Spirited Away. I think it's a wonderful, beautiful movie, and I think it's one that everybody should watch, even if you don't like anime, or even if you don't really like Ghibli films that much. Spirited Away is one I think you should watch because it has something in it for everyone. So maybe if you don't really like the romance aspect from Kiki's Delivery Service, you'll probably like Spirited Away because it's just about a little kid. She's just a little kid trying to get home and trying to get her parents back. Pretty much the whole story, and she meets fantastical monsters along the way. And it's every Ghibli film is wonderful to look at. They're all gorgeous. All of them, they're all beautiful. Even the ones that I don't really care for. My Neighbor Totoro is another one. That one is probably the most famous just because the Totoro is the like logo for the studio. So that creature that you see, that's Totoro. It's about these two little girls and their dad, and they move to the country to this home so that way they can live closer to the hospital that their mother is staying at because their mother is very sick. And it's just kind of these two sisters and how they like, I don't know, hang out at their house. And there's forest spirits everywhere, and it's really cute. It's a very cute movie. And it's obvious as to why a lot of people like it, because it has cute little kids and cute animal spirits that kind of look like giant fat bunnies. And it's just like magical. I guess it kind of reminds a lot of people who live in like areas like that. Like maybe it would remind them of, you know, going out into the woods by their house and, you know, running around having fun. I live in the desert, so I can't really, I don't really know what that feels like growing up like that. I have no idea. But, I think it's a cute movie. It's not one of my, like, top favorites, but it's a movie I wanted to talk about. Anyway, briefly. And then you have a movie like Princess Mononoke. Now, I think Princess Mononoke is more for, like, teenagers and up crowd, because it's a lot darker. There's lots of blood. It's very violent. There's guns and arrows being shot at people, and people die, and animals are slaughtered and things like that. And it's a very intense movie, but I love I love it. It's a beautiful film. And I actually had the opportunity to watch Princess Mononoke a few years ago on 35mm film, which was just amazing. And I got to see it on the big screen too. I live where there's a classic film festival every summer, so they get lots of movies like that. So one year they did have Princess Mononoke in 35mm, and that was just beautiful. It was great. And that was the first time that I had ever seen the movie. So getting to experience that film in particular on the big screen in 35mm was just amazing. And every time I've watched Princess Mononoke, I'm just like, yeah, no, it's like, I wish every experience of that movie that I can have is on a big screen in 35mm, because it's a gorgeous film. It's beautiful, and the story is great. The last prince of this kingdom is cursed and has to find a way to uncurse himself, or he's going to die. And on the way on his journey in trying to find a cure, he meets the elusive Princess Mononoke, who lives with the forest spirits. And he tries to befriend her and save the forest as well. So it's a very good film. I highly recommend you watch it. It's really good. And now I'm going to talk about my absolute favorite, which is, if you haven't already guessed what it is, like, here you go. It's Howl's Moving Castle. I absolutely love Howl's Moving Castle. It is my favorite Ghibli film. It will always be my favorite, I think, because it's just such a beautiful, gorgeous film. And I love the story. I love this, I love the place they live. I love where they live. I want to live in that little town, in that little city with cobblestone streets and things like that. And it's just, it's so pretty. Like, I just want to, I want to wake up one morning and I'm there and I live there forever. It's just so beautiful. Speaking of, the scenery is beautiful. The characters are all beautiful. Howl is absolutely gorgeous, obviously. Like, that's one of the parts of his character, is that he is absolutely gorgeous. I love Howl so much. She's one of my favorite characters. Sophie is also one of my favorite characters. I think she is absolutely gorgeous, even though she doesn't really think she is. Markle is fucking cute. Even Witch of the Waste is adorable, kind of. And Calcifer is amazing and cute. I absolutely just adore this film. I want to live inside of it. It reminds me of when I went to London. I went to London the summer of 2017 and the cobblestone streets and getting to ride around in like buses and double-decker buses and things like that reminds me of Howl's Moving Castle, and how I would love to live in a city like that with those kinds of streets and little shops everywhere and people dressing all like Victorian and things like that, or 1800s, early 1900s. And it's just a beautiful film. You can watch most of these films in English dubbed, if you would like. Disney produced a lot of the English dubs of these films, and I have to say they're all pretty good. So yeah, if you would like a more in-depth video or video series on Studio Ghibli, these are just my like basic thoughts about it. I will definitely try to do a video for that, because I think that would be a lot of fun to do. And yeah, I don't know, I think that's it. Love Studio Ghibli. Go check out a lot of their movies. There's a whole library of films you can watch and talk and enjoy. There's probably a movie for everyone, Studio Ghibli wise. So if you want a more in-depth look on films from Studio Ghibli, I would love to make videos like that, do reviews, things like that, on various Ghibli films in the future. So let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. My name is MiaFran. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment, again, like I said earlier, down below what you thought of the video. Let's start a little conversation, talk about Ghibli films together, and make sure you subscribe if you already haven't. I talk about anime like Uta no Prince Sama and other anime that I like, mostly Utapri because I play a lot of Shining Live. I talk about Miraculous Ladybug and about music and other shit that I like. And yeah, so make sure you go to the link in the description to the database of other people doing and participating in the 12 days of anime, so that way you don't have to just watch my videos, you can watch a whole plethora of videos, read a bunch of articles and posts, go to a bunch of people's Twitters, and subscribe to a bunch of other YouTube channels, so that way you can stay up to date with all of the people participating in 12 days of anime. There's a lot of great videos out there, a lot of great content creators, so I highly recommend you check everybody out that's participating. Everyone's talking about different things, so that's what's really great about it. And it's almost over. I'm so sad. 12 Days of Anime is almost over, guys. So sad. We only got 2 days left, so let's make them all count. So, this has been me, MiaFran. Have fun, stay safe, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video on the 12 Days of Anime. Bye!